The Super Soaker Sporting Squirtle Squad member Squirtoria is splashing onto the scene. This time coming back as one of the best single-target 5-star archers in the game. Ranking her against her counterpart, she is tied for first place with Orion, both having 14,553 hit points. When it comes to attack, however, much like Orion, she's near the bottom of the list. Second to last, actually, with 11,276 attack. Now, she does come with a 2 quick, 2 arts, 1 buster deck, 4 hits on those quick cards, 3 on the arts, and 3 on the buster. One of the big things here is that she does have 10 hits on her arts-based Noble Phantasm, and we will get into that later. With an NP gain of 0.59% on attack, this is huge when it comes to recharging that NP bar. With the 2 arts cards and her Noble Phantasm being arts, this does allow for the setup of an arch chain off of her Noble Phantasm. She does have a star weight of 153 and a star rate of 8%. She does have the standard Saberface loadout when it comes to traits, including Dragon. When it comes to optimized cards chains, we are going to assume skills are at rank 1, and we will talk about the differences in a moment. For NP gain, you are looking at 32.86% with an Arts Quick Arch chain. For stars, you have 2 options: Buster Quick Quick, netting you 15 to 23 stars, and doing substantially more damage than the alternative of Quick Buster Quick. Sure, this will net you 17 to 25 stars, but at a large detriment to your overall damage. For damage, you can go Buster Arts Arts. However, you do want to focus on her Noble Phantasm, so Arts Buster Arts for a little less damage but more Noble Phantasm gain might be the better of the 2 options here. Now that you can see the amazing NP gain that she has, let's get into ways to make it even better. Summer Splash A+. What better way to increase that Noble Phantasm gain than a 3-turn 20 to 30% arts card effectiveness boost? This will take her optimal arch chain from 32.86% all the way up to 37.64%. That's not all. It also boosts the defense of all allies by 10 to 20% as well. This is on an 8-turn cooldown, so you should be able to run this 50% of the time at max rank. This skill, when coupled with Nero Bride's targetable NP gain and Tamamo's arts up, will allow Squirtoria to rake in the Noble Phantasm gain and fire off Noble Phantasm after Noble Phantasm. Her second skill, Protection of the Beach House EX, is very similar to the same skill held by Saber Shiki, a heal in exchange for 10% of your NP gauge. Now, with the amount of NP gain that Artoria can pump out, this is not a huge issue, and a 2,000 to 5,000 hit point heal is massive, seeing as at max rank, this is a 4-turn cooldown that heals for a little over 1/3 of her max hit points. One thing to note on this is that you do not actually have to have 10% of your NP bar. Let's say for some reason you only have 9%. Yep, you can still heal. 0%? Not sure how you're doing that, but yeah, you can still heal. And of course, our favorite summer skill is back, Beach Flower B. By now, I would imagine that most people know what this does, as it is shared by the vast majority of summer servants, but if you haven't seen it before, it is a charisma duct taped to a male-only critical star buff. This one's 8% to 18% attack and 18 to 38% increase in critical star drop rate. While this isn't the best version, it's not bad and brings some extra attack to stack on top of her first skill. She does come with 3 passives, and all of them are ranked at an A: Magic Resistance, Independent Action, and Territory Creation. And this is a very solid lineup of passives. 20% increase to debuff resist, 10% increase to critical strength, and a 10% increase to arts cards effectiveness. Everything that she needs. As she is an archer, she should be scooping up any stars laying around, and independent action will help make the most out of those, as arts crits are going to just fill that gauge up even faster. And, well, the arts buff from Territory Creation really needs no explanation. Now, what makes Archer Artoria the beast that she is? It's this amazingly spammable single target Arts Noble Phantasm, Excalibur Vivian, Sword of Radiant Sunlight Victory. We are going to be dealing a pile of single target damage, couple that with a chance to decrease the enemy's charge bar, and top it off with a follow-up increase in NP gauge on overcharge. That's right, 900 to 1500% damage, 70% chance to drop that bar, and a 20 to 40% NP gauge refund on overcharge from 1 all the way up to 5. And remember when I said it had 10 hits? Well, let's say you happen to bust out an Arch Chain with just your own buffs. This is going to net you 60.24% of your gauge back. Add in the 20 to 40% gauge return on overcharge, and you are looking at a base of 80% return on your Noble Phantasm gauge off of an Arch Chain with her. Throw in a CE and teammates, and you can see how you can spam Noble Phantasm after Noble Phantasm. To achieve that full bar, you are going to need to further increase her NP gain by about 33%, or her Arts card effectiveness by another 52%. And we'll get into that here shortly. But first, let's talk about the mats needed to level this lovely lady. When it comes to Ascension, well, I've got bad news for you. It's 8 shells, 24 fangs, 30 medals, and 5 scales. The rest are pretty easy, but unless you've been grinding your face off during the half AP for those medals, this is a bit of a tall order, seeing as how many other servants are thirsty for medals. When it comes to skills, well, it's not too much better, honestly. 36 fangs, 15 shells, 15 bicorn horns, and 10 spirit roots. She is pretty hungry for those gold mats. It's really tough to decide what to level up after you max out her first skill, which should take priority. Her second skill will provide you with a super low cooldown heal that heals for a lot. However, her third skill does increase overall damage for the party. Personally, I would say at this point, having the extra damage would be preferential, as she should be mowing down wave after wave of enemies without being touched too often. If you find yourself in a tough situation and you need that extra healing, at least get the second skill up to 6 for the decrease in cooldown, and then alternate. She is one servant that I would suggest heavily taking to 10-10-10. Now, let's talk CEs. As Archer Artoria is amazing at NP generation, you can forego the starting NP CEs and run things like Heaven's Feel or Black Grail. This will allow her to hit like an absolute truck as she's firing off those Noble Phantasms. Additionally, Formal Craft will help with not only damage but Noble Phantasm gain on those arts cards and her Noble Phantasm. Divine Banquet, Fox Knight's Dream, Faithful Dog Who Waits, Azure Magic Girl, and if you can wait until Christmas, Holy Knight of Learning are all fantastic ways of increasing her Noble Phantasm generation rate. Azure Magic Girl, in my opinion, is going to be your best option for this, with it being replaced by Holy Knight of Learning come Christmas. Teammates, who do you team her up with? For once, we're not going to mention Waver and Hans. Well, actually, I guess I just did, but they're not optimal in this case, so ignore them. Nope. We are looking at Tamamo, Caster, and Nero Bride. As I mentioned earlier, these two would help you fire off your back-to-back-to-back-to-back Noble Phantasms. Tamamo is hands down one of the best art support in the game. With her amazing targetable arts up for 3 turns plus heal, it is a given that she would be great with this team. Nero Bride as well, with not only the targetable 45% NP gain for 3 turns, but she can also increase Artoria's attack and star generation for 3 turns as well. And if she is getting focused and somehow her own heal isn't enough, well, Nero Bride has that covered as well. Looking a bit into the future, you also have Caster Gilgamesh with a 100% star gen boost, 21% attack boost, 30% arts boost, as well as a 30% debuff success rate. This means that 70% chance to decrease the charge on her NP, yeah, that's 100% now. Not only that, but his NP will be decreasing the enemy's defense and increasing yours. Additionally, if you are looking for other art supports, you have Mozart, Paracelsus, and Boudica. Some people have asked, how does she stack up against the Welfare Arts Archer Chloe? Well, without a doubt, Artoria has her beat. However, Chloe is free and you can NP5 her as long as you clear the event. While both are single target servants, they operate very differently. Artoria is an NP spammer with team support, whereas Chloe is a solo crit damage dealer with a strong NP. While Artoria can be a crit servant, she's not optimized into the build, where Chloe has a 3-turn crit buff built into her evade, along with crit-centric passives. She also has a 100% crit star generator that pairs very well with her 6 hits on her arts cards. Chloe is easier to ascend and will likely burst harder, seeing as she will likely be NP5 versus your NP1 or NP2 Artoria. Both are very good servants and you really can't compare them to each other honestly. So those saying just wait for Chloe, well, why not both? Overall, Artoria is still hands down one of the best single target archers in the game. Her ability to spam Noble Phantasm after Noble Phantasm is rivaled only by a few others. Unlike the rumors, Noble Phantasm 2 is not mandatory, as NP1 is still more than enough to get the job done. While NP2 does provide a substantial boost in damage, it is up to you if you want to spend those quartz. Other than her lack of hard survivability, aka invulnerability or evade, she has very few downsides. She does great damage, she can spam her Noble Phantasm, she has team buffs, she has self buffs, amazing healing, great passives, and it's Artoria in a cape with a super soaker. It's hard to not want to spend all of your quartz on this servant. Her skills and ascensions are a bit pricey, but they are 100% worth it. If you are going to dip your toes into the whale pool, this is one of the servants to do it for. So that is a little bit of how amazing Archer Artoria is. I hope that if you are pulling for her that you have very good luck. I would really like to thank Lord Ashura for helping me out with this guide. He is fantastic. And I would also like to thank all of the Patreons who help make this channel possible. You guys are awesome. And if you would like to join them, there is a link down below in the description. If you sign up, you get access to my scripts, to polls on what videos I'm going to do next, and you also get invited to chill streams where you can see me work on videos and just hang out. But if you would like to support the channel, you can help me out by smashing that subscribe button, hitting that bell notification, dropping me a like and a comment, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy. Peace.
Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real.